2024 has a lot of exciting handhelds on the horizon, including the MSI Claw and a few rumored ones. But before we get our hands on those, we're revisiting our favorites. This is Tech Takedown. All right, Tony, you know me. I've gone with the ASUS ROG Ally. What do you have today?
All right, you know me, and I've gone with the Steam Deck OLED.
Okay, so let's start this off. You've got 60 seconds. Tell me why you love this so much and why someone would want to get this console.
All right, well, since you have the ROG Ally, you know that Windows 11 doesn't exactly play nice with all these handhelds, right? With Steam Deck, got a different story. The OS was specifically built for this handheld and the games. For example, you go to Valve's website, it actually has Steam verified games and even games that are not compatible, even though in some cases, some games are compatible. So basically when you start this up, you're right there in the launcher. You don't have to install Windows. You don't have to do any of this sign-in stuff that you have to do with the other handhelds, which is kind of annoying. And then this thing is, like I said, optimized for the actual hardware itself. So the games are always running well. Some games even have dedicated Steam Deck modes like Cyberpunk, which is really, really cool. So you don't have to like fiddle around too much with the settings. The Ally and similar handhelds, they give you more, there's more versatility there, but the games aren't optimized for that specific hardware. So you may not always know what you're getting. And also, I also feel that the actual performance isn't what it should be for those systems.
All right, Tony, so you bring up some great points, simplicity and just being able to jump right into your game, and of course, the great optimization that comes with a Steam Deck. But I'm gonna take 30 seconds to tell you why none of that matters. To start off, I mean, you've got a great screen, but that's about it. I mean, it's ergonomic in your hand, but underneath the hood, you actually have very limited hardware. The fact that this year we're only seeing an upgraded screen and the CPU and GPU are still bound by old technology, I mean, it was already behind the ASUS ROG Ally and other similar competitors, and now they're just digging the trench even further here. I mean, I get that you have optimized games, but I also prefer higher frames per second.
All right, those are some fair points, although I don't completely agree, but I want to give you time to convince me why the ASUS ROG Ally is better than the Steam Deck OLED.
All right, easy. So I'm going to start you off with 3 points. Value, size, performance. Okay, so for the hardware available in handhelds right now, this is some of the best performance that you can get. Not to mention, this is one of the most ergonomic, easy to hold handhelds right now. In addition to that, I mean, when it comes to gaming, yes, you're not going to be getting the same performance as, say, a dedicated laptop and definitely not a desktop, but for something this size, it's absolutely incredible. And in some of my favorite games like Overwatch 2, I can get 100 to 100 frames per second at 1080p in those settings, so it's pretty awesome. And then as an entry point for a lot of gamers, if you want a Windows computer slash a gaming handheld, this does both. I can connect it to a dock. I've got a full Windows experience, and I can also take that same experience on the go for some awesome gaming.
So I agree with you on form factor. That is a lot lighter than this guy, but the problem is, yes, that does have a more powerful processor, but it's wasted because if you want to play games at 1080p, you're going to suffer on performance. To get comparable performance on Steam Deck, you're going to have to lower it to 720p, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a 1080p screen. As far as price is concerned, the Steam Deck's actually $50 less than the high-end version of that. Yes, you could get the lower-end version of the ROG Ally, but I wouldn't recommend that to anybody.
So you do make some great points, but if I was to walk away with one of these right now, it's still going to be the ASUS ROG Ally. That said, if I could get my perfect handheld right now, I think it would be some kind of combination between the two. You definitely have one of the best screens that you can get on any handheld right now. Not to mention SteamOS, without a doubt, is better than Windows 11 when it comes to gaming.
At the end of the day, software is what's holding that back. So if I could have that hardware with this level of game optimization, I think we'd have a fantastic handheld.
All right, but what do you guys think? Which team would you go with? Would you pick me and the ASUS ROG Ally, or would you go with Tony and his Steam Deck OLED? Let us know in the comments down below. You can also find the best deals linked below if you want to check any of these out.
Also, be sure to head over to tomsguide.com to check out my review of both these systems.
Of course, follow us on socials at Tom's Guide. You can also follow me. You can also follow Tony. And until the next one, we'll catch you later.